So hi guys, so in today's video we would be looking at yet another TFX component. In the previous two videos we talked about example gen and statistics gen, and the next thing is schema gen, and after that we would be talking about example validator, transform, and a lot of things are coming in future. So as promised, I'm going constant with the timeline, and I hope you are all are getting the content related to TensorFlow, the extended that you were expecting in the production part, from gradually coming from theory to the coding and core framework part. So I would be giving you the link to this notebook in the description section as usual. So starting up with this notebook, we need to first install the TFX package, and after that, doing that, just restart the runtime and just import all these things to make sure that your notebook works well. And after that, we would be looking at the TensorFlow and TFX version. Set up the pipeline paths. I have described all these things in detail in the first two videos. The first one, that is example gen, and the second one, which is statistics gen. Now, in that I have also, so right till now we have done the example gen. I would again give you a brief as usual, that in the first case, example gen component is usually at the start of a TFX pipeline. What it does it to your data is something like that. It split your data into training and evaluation sets by doing around 66% of the part into training and 33% of the part into evaluation, and converts the data into tf.example format and copy the data into tfx root directory for other components to access. Now after that, example gen is tfx.components.csv example, we have talked about in detail in the example gen video. Once you have divided your data, what is the second thing you do? The second thing is checking your data, means like data validation, something like that. And for that we use statistics gen. It works on the TensorFlow data validation library itself. So the statistics component computes statistics over your data for data analysis as well as for use in downstream components. Now, statistics takes as input the data that we just ingested using example gen. So what it is, the pipeline is working like this. Uh, if I could explain you in your single line, first you give your data to example gen. That data is shuffled, everything is done. It is broken into example, evaluation, and training part. And after that, you see the statistics of that data. And we have talked about the statistics in detail in the previous video, that how all the statistics are shown here. As you can see, everything in detail is shown by this data, and believe me, this is the best part of statistics, and that I like. You can see every glimpse of the data that you have just gave to your model. In this we didn't got anything bad, because this is obviously a very good data set that we have taken from a very verified website. But when you're making a model and you're collecting data for a particular organization or company, chances are that there would be some problems faced by you. Now coming to today's topic, which is schema gen. So the thing which I have explained to you about statistics and example gen was just in brief. If you want to see in detail, I would recommend you to go and watch the previous videos. It would help you get the idea of them in detail. Now coming to schema gen. Now I would directly take you to the website to make sure that you don't miss anything that I try to say you. In the next video, once we come to example validator, I will make sure that I open as usual in a core part, like an interactive user face. I usually use Jamboard by Google, and there I can show you the whole pipeline working. I was just waiting for schema gen to end, so that pipeline is quite clear. So what schema gen does is, it takes your statistics from the statistics component and give you the data schema proto. Now you must be thinking, what is this data schema proto? It can actually, it can specify data types, like for feature values, whether feature has to be present in all examples, what are the allowed ranges, and other properties. So it would automatically generate a schema by inferring types, categories, and ranges from the training data. This is how it works. Now what are the here's an excerpt from the schema proto. You can see the feature, name, type, This is another feature type, minimum fraction, minimum count, minimum number, minimum maximum, like that. Now that is how things work here. So let's go to the notebook and simply run this cell. So we'll take so yeah, the generated schema is the best effort and only tries to infer the basic properties of the data. It is expected that you review and modify it as needed. So you can obviously you can't deny on a particular library for all the things. It's just for a helping, it's just like a helping function for you. So it will take inputs, that statistics that we generated. So what we are doing, we are taking the output of the statistics that we just did, and we are just doing the infer feature shape is false, and we would run it context dot run. So you can see metadata store within database connection initialized, everything is there. And if you go and see here, these are the things you can see, artifacts, and inside that all the things. So for seeing things in detail, obviously we would be needing the output. I would just run this, and as you can see here, you can just pause the video for a second and look at the things in detail. Yeah, I hope you have seen what it is doing. Now I would explain it to you. So now what is this? You can convert this data into an interactive table as well. Just click at here, it is an interactive table. So I actually don't like that. It's good for you, but you can just visit this particular website, that is datatable.ipnb. There they tell you how to display the table in a good format. But if you want to just see the data frame again, just simply run this cell again. Now you can see this is the feature name, company, the payment type, drop off census. These all were features present in a data. If you have seen the first video, you must be knowing a data. These are all the features present in a data. Now what is the type? String, int. Now their presence is required, all this required. The valency is single, domain, payment type, company, means these are all initialized in the very beginning of making the library. Now you can see all the things are almost required, and you can see the domain, all the things that are present here, payment type, cash, credit card, dispute, no charges, everything is told to you. The trip mile, float, required, single, valency, and yeah, this is how it is working. Now you must be thinking how it helps. So basically each feature in your dataset shows up as a row in the schema table alongside its properties. So schema also captures all the values that a categorical feature takes on, denoted as its domain. So I have already given you the link to this notebook, but it would obviously take you to the same path I have already told you about. So how it helps, it tells you each and everything. You can see almost all of your data is present, specifically when you talk about company domains. So in the inside the company part, you can see all the companies that are present inside, all the payment types that are present. Obviously these are all built-in domains, so you must be thinking that why others are not shown. That's not a problem, but the thing is the presence is required. That is a very denoting thing, because you can see that the data is actually important. This particular feature is actually important for our part. It just checks and do all the things. So for now, what you have now done, you have splitted your data, you have viewed the statistics, you have tested the presence, you have seen the domain and types of data that is present in your part. Now suppose you were just directly did the data without doing schema gen. You wouldn't have even known your data, that what type of data is present in detail, that is its presence even required or not, that am I taking a boolean data set that is not even doing anything up in my part, and just making the training a bit more harder and complex. So this is how schema gens actually helps you getting to know each feature in your data set, and all the values that a categorical feature takes on, denoted as its domain. So if you want, you can even do this true. I won't recommend you, because obviously it would not be good for us, our data right now. But if I run this, you can see this is how it shows. Then nothing different, but when you work on big data sets and complex data sets, these things really vary. Now you can go here and see that what all these features do, infer notebook and everything. So yeah, that was it for the video. uh, I would recommend you to go and play with this notebook and test the schema gen property itself by yourself. It would be really helpful, and I would recommend you to do that. So that is it for the video. Thank you and have a nice day.